This is Coach's Corner, presented by Aurora BayCare Sports Medicine, and we're joined by the head coach and general manager of the Green Bay Gamblers, Pat Mickish. The Green Bay Gamblers are on the road with one game this weekend in Dubuque as they take on the Fighting Saints on Friday night. And Pat, it's kind of a weird schedule for you. It seems like, for the first time in a while, you guys aren't playing a Saturday night game, period. Does that change your schedule at all?
No, and it's funny, we have actually 2 Saturdays in a row off with the Thursday, Friday the following week. So, no, we'll focus on this Friday game like we always would, and go into it and be ready for Dubuque, which is obviously going to be a great opponent. And then we'll take Saturday and make it into a practice day and build the same to keep the week the exact same for the players getting ready for the following week.
Speaking of practice this last week, what are some of those things that you guys are trying to correct, or some things that you're doing well in practice to get ready for this weekend?
Well, I think it's just developing as a team still. I mean, creating that identity. I didn't think we played as well Saturday with the puck. I thought we had some soft turnovers and didn't spend as much time in the offensive zone as we had during the preseason. So, just getting back to our principles of how we want to play, and, we'll continually just add in new things as we get going and, develop what works best for this team.
I feel like everybody has scheduled you guys to open up their buildings this year. Dubuque, Madison, Chicago. Talk about how you manage the emotions of the players going into the games like that.
Well, it actually makes it great because, the opponent's going to be ready to go. You're going to have some fans into it. So playing in those openers brings a little bit of natural excitement. Might have a little longer introduction than we get once you get into the regular season. But it's all good. Same preparation. Teams are great about making sure when you have to be on the ice to be ready to go. So we just show up. We'll open up some buildings and hopefully get some wins out of it.
A lot of road trips early on in the year. That's got to be a great way to help build team chemistry, right? Yeah,
anytime you can spend a bunch of hours on the bus together, guys will get to know each other. But the trip to Pittsburgh was very positive that way, and getting to know these road games and helping some of our new players understand that they play midget hockey where they might play 5 games in a tournament on a weekend and whatnot, but every road game is so important in this league, and the same 2 points that we can earn at home. So learning how to win on the road is very important. So it's a great experience here early in the year.
Well, the Dubuque Fighting Saints, talk about a tough atmosphere in the Mystique Ice Center. Talk about some of those keys that the Green Bay Gamblers have to do this week going into a tough environment to come out with the victory.
Well, I think you want to manage your game. If Dubuque gets a good run going and they're getting the crowd involved, we have to find a way to change that tide and maybe you quiet them down, whether it's with a good shift in the offensive zone or just some quieting down by moving pucks properly and not spending as much time in your own D zone. So, and then when you get the momentum, you quiet the crowd down, you want to keep it quiet and keep going and play your game and try to keep the crowd out of it best you can.
The Green Bay Gamblers playoffs ended in Dubuque last year in a tough series, a very good series between 2 very good teams. What has been the message from the leadership on this team this year for the younger guys going into a hostile environment like Dubuque?
Well, I don't think we want to change anything. We have to respect every opponent we play, and we know
Sure.
Dubuque's going to be a great team, and their atmosphere can be very electric at times in that smaller roof building where it kind of right on top of you. But we lost to Dubuque last year, but at the same time, this is a whole new team. You have 8
Sure.
players that right now we just want to be a good team, and we want to get better, and we want to build. And going on the road, whether it was in Chicago last week where I didn't think we had a great performance, we need to become a better road team. So, whether it's getting ready for this Dubuque game, or I think I said it the other day, we're going to go to Cedar Rapids in a few weeks, and they're another great opponent. So, anybody we're playing on the road is going to be a challenge, and we have to respect whoever we're up against.
In watching the Fall Classic in Pittsburgh, seeing a couple of the home opener games this last weekend, the Eastern Conference is going to be tough again this year, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm sure the West is saying the same thing, and we haven't run into any of those teams yet, but it's such a well-balanced league. The scouting staffs do such a remarkable job of getting the top talent, not only from the U.S., but all over the world. And so I think night in and night out, you're going to be challenged in this league, but in our division, we just need to make sure, we're a consistent team. I thought last year, we had a very consistent standard of getting points every weekend and building and going into the next weekend with the expectation to get points, and we just want to stay on task with that. And and if you're not improving as the year goes on, you're going to get passed by teams. So we need to be constantly on the move.
Well, it's an exciting time of the year. College hockey started, or is getting started, I should say, with games this weekend. it's kind of cool to see some of the former players that have come through our system, guys that you've really put, helped develop along with other coaches. How cool is it for you to see those guys, the guys like Alex Kyle, Nick Schilke's, even the guys in the NHL that you helped develop, see them now in their respective teams and moving on in their hockey careers?
It's always exciting, and at the same time, we've had pro hockey camps kick off, and Alex Broadhurst played in the exhibition game the other night, and I got to see a little bit of that. So it's very cool, to follow all of our players as they move on and go through this process. But that college season kicks off. It's one of my favorite things to do as our game ends, is check box scores and see how all of our alumni have done. So it gets longer and longer the longer I'm in this league on how many guys I have to follow. But it's always great.
Just really quickly then, you're an alum of Michigan Tech. What's the outlook this year for the Huskies?
I believe they got a great decor. And, I don't know the whole WCHA, but I know Mel and his staff have a real strong group returning, and they've added some really strong players from our league a year ago. So I think their expectation is to stay on top of that league. I mean, they've got the McNaughton Cup in their hands right now, and I don't think they want to let go of it.
I appreciate your time, and good luck this weekend in Dubuque.
All right, thank you.